Hey everybody, this is Dave Nassy with NextLevelGuitar.com, and what we're going to talk about is some cool licks that we could do in the style of one Mr. Dimebag Darrell from Pantera. Alright, so we're going to do two different things. We're going to talk about an ascending picking run that is pretty common in his style, and we're going to talk about the use of some symmetrical diminished shapes that we can use on the guitar with some hammer-ons and pull-offs. So let's break down the first thing that I just did there. Before I forget, click on that link that you see below in the YouTube text box if you would like a free video lesson that is not available on YouTube, as well as getting a coinciding ebook that goes through a bunch of cool scale shapes, and it's a great overall lesson. Again, something that you do not get on YouTube. This is in the key of E minor, right? Classic kind of a rock key that we can work in that leaves that low string ringing open for us to play around with. And this lick, I will call off the frets of the scale shapes that I'm using, and then we'll break down the overall technique of it, okay? So to start with, we're going 7, 8, and 10, B, C, D on our low 6 string. Ooh, let me give you some more. Then we're going to go to our 7, 9, and 10 on the A string. From there we will ascend and go 9, 10, 12 on the 5th string. 9, 10, 12 on the 4th string. So that's going to give us this. Alright, so moving on from there, we have this to start. I'm going to slide my first finger up and go to the 10th fret and go 10, 12, 14 on the 4th string. Carrying on to the 3rd string of 11, 12, 14. So that gives us this to start with. This is actually really cool what we're doing. We're connecting multiple positions on the fretboard going through our diatonic scale shapes, in this case in the key of G. So if that's something that may be unfamiliar to you, it's something that you could go ahead and visually recognize on the fretboard and take your time to go through separate from this particular lesson. But what I'm doing is I'm just taking little parts from each position that you would cover and move up the fretboard, right? So again, we're starting from the 7th position. Switching 12, 14, 16 on the G string. Getting up there now. Alright, and then from there, we're going to go 13, 15, 17. Alright, so we've traveled quite a bit of space. Let's talk about what we got going on here. Now, one thing to mention is we've covered a really cool mapped out outline in the key of E minor or the key of G. You can have a field day with this. You can incorporate any of your own licks or any of your own pull-offs that you like to do, or picking patterns within this scale shape, and it's going to sound great when you bring it over an E chord, right? So you get a lot of cool movement that you can do with it, just within that shape. So we're taking a lick from another artist, in this case Dimebag Darrell, and we're going to take it and incorporate it into our own playing. Now, in the style of him, something that might happen that he would do is maybe just alternate pick each pattern or each section of the scale shape 6 times. Really, really easy. Just doubling up on each string. That's another way to say it. You can go. So what you want to be most comfortable with when you're going through this is the position shifting that happens with your left hand. Sometimes it's going to be that index finger, or most of the time in this case it is that index finger, that's changing your positions and making sure that your thumb is properly placed back there so you can stay on the tip of that finger and address that next position accurately is really, really important. So it gives you really slowly, this is the idea of what we're talking about here. Like this. doing these kind of licks was really helpful to me with my picking. You know, we've talked about other picking exercises, and we talk about how to hold the pick, right? And that's something that I'm going to mention here in a second again. But when you have the time to go through a scale and play a decent amount of notes in that position, it gives you a comfortable way to work on just alternate picking. Alternate picking is the toughest motion at times for people to get down, and it just allows you to be comfortable with that motion. So let me address how I'm holding the pick here. A lot of times what I'll do in this particular case is I'm going to pull in my first finger, and if you notice when I pull in my first finger, my thumb bends a little bit. That's actually going to make my pick cross at a 25-degree angle or so, right, give or take, as we go across the fretboard. And it's easier because now when I'm picking, I'm not just flat as I go through that. Having my finger, boom, in, look at that thumb, right? Camera 1, camera 2, right? Just get you right in there, right on the string, and it allows you to plane across the guitar. Now, for those pickers back there, or out there, I should say, if you tilt your pick this way, now this is a completely alternate way to do it. You've got an additional finger on the pick. I have students that pick this way, so I thought I would address it. This is okay too, right? Now, don't expect me to play this lick with this picking hand because, boy, it'll sound sloppy. But the idea is still essentially the same. Your pick is not crossing the string extremely flat. You can use this picking motion for any alternate picking lick as long as you are comfortable enough to control the noise that comes from the string with your right hand, and you have a nice relaxed motion with your wrist as you go through it. So again, the lick is just like this. One more time, a little bit up to speed. All right, so that is a great example of how you can incorporate one Dimebag Darrell into your playing from an alternate picking point of view. Really quickly, we're going to address some diminished movement that moves symmetrically across the guitar. So check out this pull-off pattern. We're going to start here with our index finger on the high E on the 12th fret, middle finger is going to be on 15, and our pinky is going to be on 18. Diminished stretches are minor thirds between each fingers when you're playing 3 notes per string. Minor third is a fancy way to say 3 frets. Right? So I've got 3 frets between each finger. Now check out this pull-off pattern that you do, and it's really, really cool to play. I'm going to start with my pinky. I'm going to pull off to my index finger. Play that one more time for you. Different than what we've done in the past, where we've done so many succession of notes. Really cool licks to do just because it gets so much momentum going with your left hand and hand strength and stamina with that left hand. So what's really cool is you start that lick with one picked motion, and then you rely on the velocity and the comfort of your pinky to initiate it again when it slams back down on that note. So you have... What's cool is I can do the same frets and go up each string, not even change position, just stay on those frets, do the exact same lick, and you're going to cover a really cool element in his playing. It sounds just like this. A really cool way to use diminished type playing symmetrically across the fretboard. Now, if you were to put this in correlation with the other lick, let's play these two slowly back to back. All right, everybody, a couple of licks that you can do that are Dimebag Darrell in style, right? Please check out nextlevelguitar.com for over 850 lessons. I'm adding to it with this one, and I really appreciate you taking the time to check it out.